Hey, this is C&D Channel. I'm Chris. This is also Chris. This is MMA for you. We're going to be doing our predictions for UFC 160, which happens on May 25th. You can also check this fight out at Q's Lounge. Is that correct?
That is correct. Here's a quick shameless plug. www.theqslounge.com. Yeah.
Nice, man. Cool, man. Yeah, as far as the card goes, I'm looking forward to it. I think there's some really good fights on the card. I think the real main event is Junior Dos Santos versus Mark Hunt, to be perfectly honest with you. Prelims got some great prospects: Bermudez, Holloway, Whitaker, Habib Nurmagomedov, Abel Trujillo, Habib Nurmagomedov.
Okay.
Nashawn Burrell, Stephen Thompson, Brian Bowles is coming back. Stalwin Pion. Good prospects here, man. And you got a lightweight title eliminator for a contender fight here at TJ Grant and Gray Maynard. What do you think of the card, man?
I'm pretty excited about this. I like watching Cain Velasquez fight. I love JDS. Big fan of Cowboy. Yeah, I don't know. Pretty excited about this.
Cool, man. Let's get started then.
Let's do this.
We got UFC heavyweight champion Cain Velasquez versus Antonio Bigfoot Silva. For me personally, Bigfoot knocked out Travis Brown and Overeem. You can't discount that. But however, Cain Velasquez already beat this guy really bad back in May 2012. I can't see a different outcome here. I think Cain Velasquez wins this, especially with his wrestling, his relentless ground and pound, and his cardio. How about you, man?
This is for the title fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 5 rounds.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Cain Velasquez too. Cain is just a beast. He's on a 2-fight win streak. He trains with the AKA. Former UFC heavyweight champion, right? And he defeated Silva back in their last fight. So
he's the current.
He's the current. I'm sorry,
but he is a former in a way because he lost it and then got it back.
Cain's just a beast. The last time I really saw him get demolished was when he got knocked out by JDS. But I don't think Bigfoot has the same type of weapons, so I'm gonna go with Cain for the win.
Yeah, I don't want to discount Bigfoot here. This guy's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Authentic KO power, has 13 of his 18 wins are by KO or TKO. His wrestling, he's a well-rounded guy. I think he's not the quickest guy. I think he's a game. He is really game at all times. Beat Fedor, but Velasquez, especially with that wrestling, with that cardio, with that ground and pound, I can just see takedown, ground and pound all day. Maybe some stand-up here and there, but for the most part, yeah, Cain Velasquez for the win. Okay, next fight after that, we have the Super Samoan Mark Hunt versus Junior Cigano Dos Santos. This is a great fight and what I think is the true main event here. I love Mark Hunt, but man, I gotta go with Junior Dos Santos here. What about you, man?
I think this is gonna be more competitive than the Cain versus Bigfoot. But I'm pretty confident that JDS has got this. He's got heavy hands. Mark Hunt, I don't know. His cardio is always real questionable. You don't know, if he's going to be in shape when he's fighting, and so JDS is pretty much I don't know, he always comes and he always brings it, except for the last fight, but I think he was having some personal issues. His mind was elsewhere, but yeah, I think JDS has this one pretty easily, and it'll probably be by KO probably the first or second round.
Wow, nice prediction there. Both these guys, I don't know if he can KO. Either of you guys will get the KO simply because of their chins. Both these guys have some really rock hard chins. But they're heavyweights also, and they can get knocked out. Junior Dos Santos, I feel, has a superior boxing and footwork. Better cardio as well. Better use of range. Mark Hunt, though, I mean, this is a guy that does have some pretty heavy leg kicks. When he's inside, he'll throw really strong hooks or uppercuts. I mean, a total Cinderella story. Mark Hunt was not supposed to be this far in, this high up the UFC heavyweight ladder. I mean, it's amazing that this guy made this resurgence. I mean, seriously, a lot of people didn't think he'd beat Stefan Struve. I didn't think he'd beat Cheick Kongo. Knocked him out. Not just that, he's knocking dudes out, you know. So, I mean, they both have one-punch knockout power. But I think Junior Dos Santos, a bit more mobile, better boxer, better with range. But Mark Hunt has really good timing and accuracy as well. You know, and I think better cardio with Junior Dos Santos. So I'll go with Dos Santos to win this one. Okay, next one. Oh.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Okay, next right after that we have Glover Teixeira versus James Te Huna. James Te Huna is a guy who's been coming up light heavyweight division, big for the weight class. Almost lost to Ryan Jimmo. He got head kicked in the first round, ground and pounded, managed to rally back. Used mainly grappling, so he showed some improved grappling against Jimmo to really win the fight. Heavy, you know, he's got some heavy hands. But man, Glover Teixeira, man, very experienced guy. I gotta go with Glover Teixeira here. He's just coming off that big win over Rampage. How about you? Who do you got?
I got Glover Teixeira also. I don't know. I think he pretty much, went over most of the important stuff. But I definitely, I think he's gonna win.
Yeah, man. Glover Teixeira, man, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, good boxer, good guard passer when he does take the fight to the ground. And he's really experienced, dude. This guy has a lot of fights under his belt, man. I gotta go Glover Teixeira to win this one. And next fight after that, tough one for me to call, is TJ Grant fights Gray Maynard. You know, it's crazy because TJ Grant's a guy that was just flying under the radar. I think he opened some eyes with that Evan Dunham fight, and then really opened up some eyes when he knocked out Matt Wyman with elbows, man. This guy has been improving his Muay Thai. His ground game's sick, too, and he's a good scrambler. However, his takedown defense is not the strongest, and that's why I got to go with Gray Maynard. What about you, man?
I'm going to agree with you. Yeah, I mean, this is Gray Maynard?
Yeah.
Okay, he trains with AKA. Got strong wrestling.
Yeah.
His stand-up is improving. He's got good top control, and so I think the combination of all those factors are going to allow him to get the win over TJ Grant.
Yeah, the thing with Maynard, I think he'll be able to dictate where the fight goes. Even if he has trouble on the stand-up, he can always take the fight to the ground. Not to say that TJ Grant can't win. I mean, this guy is really good. I'm a big fan of the guy. But I just think Maynard will be able to dictate where the fight goes, use his wrestling if he's in trouble, avoid the scrambles and sweeps from Grant when he's off his back. And TJ Grant is very dangerous off his back. And get the win. Okay, and the final fight of the main card, we have Donald Cowboy Cerrone versus KJ Nunes. I seen KJ Nunes lose like Jorge Masvidal. He should have beaten Ryan Couture. The judges were blind that night. Nunes is a fun fighter. I mean, he's fought like Nick Diaz, fought Josh Thompson. I think he's on a losing streak right now, though. But yeah, I gotta go with Donald Cerrone here, man. How about you?
I'm gonna go with Cowboy also. Personally, I think KJ Nunes is a little overrated.
A lot of people feel that way.
I mean, he looks good when he's training, but when he gets into the octagon, it's just like, I don't know. He doesn't really deliver.
Yeah. And the other thing is too, this is his first fight in the UFC. Fighting in Strikeforce before this. KJ Nunes, I mean, he's a fun fighter. His boxing's good. He'll hit body hits. Defensively, he's not that great. And also, the other thing is, he's seen like against like Masvidal or something. I mean, the guy got like head kicked and almost got knocked out. You know what I mean? It's Moons is boxing. It's good. His takedown defense is pretty good. I think what happens is when he gets like leg kicked, for example, he needs like reset all the time. It's really hard for him to really get going sometimes against a good kicker, and Cerrone's got that game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Cerrone's Cowboys kicks are pretty lethal.
Yeah, exactly. And his overall Muay Thai game's lethal, and his ground game too. I mean, Donald Cerrone can pretty much dictate where the fight goes, and especially if he uses kicks, which I think he will. I think he's definitely going to beat KJ Nance here. Okay, on to the FX prelims. We have Mike Quicksand Kyle versus Rick the Horror Story. Who do you got, man? I got Story, but who do you got?
You know, I got Mike Pyle in this one.
Oh, the veteran.
The veteran. He's on a 3-fight win streak.
Mm-hmm.
He's showing good KO power in the last few fights.
Mm-hmm.
Strong Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Like you mentioned, he's very experienced. He's a vet.
Mm.
So I'm gonna go with experience on this one.
Yeah, Rick Story, good fighter. He's kind of a brawler, but he's always pushing forward and really aggressive. He'll throw multiple body shots. He's a good wrestler and he has a good chin. I am a bit concerned because his takedown defense is not very good. Despite being a wrestler, it's very odd. But he actually has been taken down by just about every one of his UFC opponents. Almost every one of his UFC opponents. And he's big for the weight class. I think that Rick Story might be able to overwhelm Mike Pyle here. Okay, next right after that. This one is one of the toughest ones for me to call because I'm a fan of both these guys. As the Menace Bermudez fights Max, I believe it's Blessed Holloway. I got Bermudez here. I'm not super confident in it for one reason. His defense is terrible. This guy gets hit clean and gets rocked in every fight he's in. Just about. But man, he's relentless. He's got strong wrestling, really good ground and pound, resilient dude, just a strong guy as well. Who do you got though, man?
I'm gonna have to respectfully disagree with you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with Max Holloway.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a 7-1 record.
Mm-hmm.
He's on a 3-fight win streak.
Yeah.
Got good technical stand-up, good strong body punches, good takedown defense, and his grappling is improving. And like you mentioned, Bermudez's defense is like almost non-existent. So,
yeah.
That it's just too much of a glaring weakness, and so I'm gonna have to go with Max Holloway.
One thing that's also notable about Max Holloway also is that he is one of the youngest fighters in the UFC. He's 21 years old. And this guy is improving in every fight. I really like the guy. I think he definitely has top 10 potential. Probably in the near future, to be honest with you. I mean, he is just a good fighter. Bermudez, though, he's just so game, so resilient. His wrestling's good. I think he can rely on his wrestling if things get hairy on the stand-up. He actually has a good submission game as well, especially with those guillotines. I'll go with Bermudez to win this one. Not super confident because I am a big fan of Max Holloway. Next right after that, we have Ultimate Fighter winners as Colton Smith fights Ultimate Fighter Australia winner, or Australia versus the UK winner, Robert Whittaker. Go with Whittaker, He's a good fighter. He's only 22 years old, 10-2 record. He has some KO power. His grappling is steadily improving. Stand up solid. I'll go with Whittaker to win this one. How about you, man?
I'm going with Colton Smith, 3-1 record.
Mm-hmm.
He was the tough winner.
Mm-hmm.
Grinder, relentless about getting takedowns. Good top control.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to go with the former Ultimate Fighter winner, Colton Smith.
Yeah, one thing about Colton Smith is he trains with Tim Kennedy, and they had the very same style of fighting. Just relentless about getting those takedowns. So, stand-up's not that great, but then they will grind, Against Mike Ricci, Colton Smith just took him down, took his back, and just grinded out the win. But I'll go to Whittaker to win this one. I think he can avoid the takedowns and beat him up standing. Okay, and the final fight of the FX prelims You have two lightweight prospects as Habib Nurmagomedov fights Abel Trujillo. And I gotta go with the undefeated Habib Nurmagomedov here. I have a really bad habit of picking against this guy, and he keeps proving me wrong. Even though I don't think he beat Gleison Tibau, that's besides the point because he just knocked out Thiago Tavares. Nurmagomedov, he's only 24, trains at Red Fury Fight Team. He has some KO power. He's really aggressive, always pushing forward. He's huge for the weight class, and he does have a Sambo background as well. Who do you got?
You know, I got Abel Trujillo.
Ah, the Black Zillion,
yeah,
huh?
the Black Zillion, and it's not because I can't pronounce, the other guy's name. It's because he's on a 5-fight win streak. Trains, like you said, at the Black Zillions. Good stand-up, good takedown, and he's relatively large, for his weight class in his division. So, I'm gonna go with Abel Trujillo.
Yeah, Trujillo looked impressive in his fight against Marcus Lubisher. He pretty much got that TKO win, managed to defend some takedowns. And some pretty good takedown defense as well. He's a good fighter. I'm actually surprised they're putting these two prospects up against each other. But I'll go with Habib to win this one. Okay, next fight on the Facebook prelims, which is actually a pretty strong Facebook prelims. We have Nashawn Burrell versus Stephen Thompson. This one's tough for me to call. I got Nashawn Burrell though, man. He's coming off that win over Yuri Villafort. He's 23 years old, really athletic guy. He's just a guy that's steadily improving. His grappling is steadily improving, and his stand-up is solid. Who do you got?
I've got Stephen Thompson on this one. He's got a 6-1 record. Trains at TriStar. He's a kickboxing champion. Got really strong kicks. Weak takedown defense, and he's kind of weak, when he gets on the ground. But his kickboxing is really his strength, and those kicks I think are going to be able to allow him to win this one.
Yeah, one thing with Thompson that's interesting, and this could work for him actually. He last fought in April 2012. Now here's the thing, that could be seen as a bad thing, but for a guy who was getting taken down at will by Matt Brown, and Matt Brown is turning out to be a really good fight. It's just 5-fight win streak right now. 4 of those wins are by KO or TKO. He could have been improving on those weaknesses during that time. That's why this fight's actually really hard for me to call, because people are down on Thompson for losing to Matt Brown. But the problem is, Matt Brown is turning out to be a really good fighter. It wouldn't surprise me. I am going to assume that Thompson is greatly working. I know he's a stepbrother of one of the is it one of the Machado brothers actually. Trains with a good team. But, I've been impressed with Nashawn Burrell ever since Strikeforce, he's a good prospect, really young, real athletic, always improving in his game. Okay, next right after that, we have George Roop versus Brian Bowles. He's finally returning. Gotta go with Bowles here. Despite the fact that he last fought in November 2011, he's a former WC champ, bantamweight champ. He's always been a well-rounded guy. His wrestling's good, stand-up's solid, good, really technical guy, and his Brazilian jiu-jitsu's good too. Really good guillotine, especially. Who do you got?
I got George Roop on this one.
Roop.
Yep. Trains at Apex MMA. Pretty tall for the weight class. He's about 6'1".
6'1", yeah.
Good kickboxing, good takedown defense, and good kicks since he's a good kickboxer. So I think he's gonna be able to take out Brian Bowles, but I think it's definitely gonna be close. So
cool. And finally, we have Esteban Payan versus Jeremy Little Heathen Stevens. I got, what, man? I like Stevens, but and this one's actually tough for me to call, but I'll go with Payan. This guy trains at Arizona Combat Sports. He's on a 5-fight win streak right now. Pretty good stand-up, not bad wrestling as well. And it is his first fight in the UFC, so that makes me a bit concerned. But who do you got?
I got the Little Heathen. I'm going with Jeremy Stevens. He's been on a 3-fight losing streak, but you know, I think he's, you know, he can definitely snap out of that. Trains at Victory MMA, has KO power, and his grappling has been improving, you know, quite steadily. So I think.
Oh yeah, man! You can even watch the Anthony Pettis fight, where you know, he was actually getting takedowns on Pettis. He's actually been taking guys down a lot more. One other thing that worries me about Stevens, though, is he has an arrest warrant on him against him right now. And I just don't know if the stuff outside of the cage is going to affect him inside of the cage. I'm feeling it might. That's also why I'm going with Esteban Payan to win this one.
Do you have any idea what the warrant is for? Or?
Yeah, I forgot. I believe it's in Iowa. And I forgot exactly what it's for, but you know.
It's in Iowa.
Yeah.
What's an IOI?
Huh?
What's an IOI?
No, it was in the state of Iowa.
Oh, in the state of Iowa. Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. But yeah, that's what's going on here.
That's never good.
Want to recap, man?
Sure.
Okay. With Cain Velasquez versus Antonio Silva, I got Cain Velasquez.
I got Cain Velasquez.
Okay. Junior Dos Santos versus the Super Samoan Mark Hunt. I got Junior Dos Santos.
I've got JDS.
Okay. James Tehuna fights Glover Teixeira. I got Glover Teixeira.
I've also got Glover Teixeira.
Okay. TJ Grant fights Gray Maynard. I'll go with Gray Maynard to win this one.
I got Gray Maynard.
And finally, KJ Nunes fights Donald Cerrone.
I've got Cowboy as well.
Yeah, I got Cerrone as well. Yeah, on the FX prelims, we got Mike Pyle fighting Rick Story. I'll go with Rick Story to win this one.
I'm going with Mike Pyle.
Okay. Got two prospects in featherweight as Dennis Bermudez fights Max Holloway. I'll go with Dennis Bermudez.
I got Max Holloway.
Okay, Battle of the Ultimate Fighter winners as Colton Smith fights Robert Whitaker. I'll go with Robert Whitaker.
Got Colton Smith.
Okay, and two lightweight prospects as Habib Nurmagomedov fights Abel Trujillo. I'll go with Habib Nurmagomedov.
Go with Abel Trujillo.
Okay, and on the Facebook prelims, Nishan Burrell fights Stephen Thompson. I'll go with Nishan Burrell.
Go with Stephen Thompson.
Okay, Brian Bowles fights George Roop. I'll go with the former WEC bantamweight champ, Brian Bowles.
I'm going with George Roop.
And finally, Lil Heathen, Jeremy Stevens fights Esteban Payan. I'll go with Esteban Payan.
And I'm going with a little heathen, Jeremy Stevens.
Cool. So that's pretty much it for our predictions for UFC 160. If you have any comments, just leave them below. You can also check out this event at Q's Lounge. Is there a cover charge?
There is never a cover charge at the Q's Lounge. Just log on to www.theqslounge.com. Yeah, never cover charge. It's on Beach and McFadden, and we're actually showing the Mayweather fight this weekend.
Oh,
so
nice.
I think there's a small cover charge for that, just because boxing is so expensive. But yeah, I mean, definitely worth considering. You know, checking out.
Cool. Any final thoughts about this card, my man?
I mean, I always like seeing Cain and JDS fight, and you know, the fact that they're on the same card. You know, it's just really exciting. And then I haven't seen Cowboy in a while, and so you know, I'm always excited to see him fight too. And so I mean, those are the guys that I'm probably you know, just, you know, excited to see.
Cool. So that's pretty much it for MMA for You. Thank you guys very much.